for joining the Literary Globe.
Thank you for having me.
This is Willemijn, and she is the founder of Read My World.
Hi.
Hi. Can you tell our Literary Globe audience what is Read My World and how did it start?
Yes, Read My World is an international literature festival that takes every year place in October in the Tolhuistuin in Amsterdam. And this festival each year focuses on a different region in the world, and this year we're focusing on Turkey. What we do as a festival is that we each year invite writers, poets, journalists, singer-songwriters from this particular region that we're focusing on. And we get to find out about these writers through curators who are actually based in Turkey this year. And they advise us and they come up with a bunch of beautiful, great thinkers and people, and we invite them over.
Great, but you told me the story about meeting somebody in Palestine.
That's true.
That's how it all sparked your interest in creating a festival, because you've never done this before.
Exactly. No, I was in Ramallah in Palestine, and there I met this wonderful woman, a poet. Her name is Esma Azaiza, and she got into a conversation with me about the kind of poetry, literature that she was reading. And although I thought I know a lot about Arabic literature, or I know a lot about what's going on in Palestine, she blew my mind in terms of the kind of literature and poetry that was very important to her and that we here in the West would never get to read. So then I started thinking, what would happen if I give this woman carte blanche and invite her to come over to Holland, meet a Dutch team, and introduce us to the writers and poets and singer-songwriters that she likes, because then we get a whole new image of what's going on.
Yeah. And the idea with Read My World is that it goes beyond journalism.
Yes, exactly.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, the thing is that one of the reasons why we also decided to focus on these different regions in the world is it came from the Arab Spring back then. There was the first edition in 2013. The Arab Spring was going on, and we were reading a lot about the Arab Spring, about what was going on in these countries. But then I thought, there's more to it than that. There's more to the Arab world than the Arab Spring. I mean, there are people who write also literature about partying and about love, etc. And this journalism is very important because that's how we get our information, obviously, from what's going on. But I thought there's more than these facts, so to say. And I have one quote. It's one of the writers who we invited from Southeast Asia. His name is Seno Gumira Adijama. And he says, and I have to say it correctly, he says, when journalism is silenced, literature must speak. Because while journalism speaks with facts, literature speaks with truth. And this is what we're trying to do also with Read My World. So we're inviting also journalists, we're inviting storytellers, but we're also looking at the stories that go beyond the facts that we every day hear in the news.
Yes.
So the personal stories, the daily life stories, to give a little bit of a multi-layered view of the region that we are focusing on.
And you speak about Turkey. Well, this year you're focusing on Turkey. Can you tell us why you chose Turkey?
Yeah, well, first of all, we have more than over 500,000 people living in Holland with Turkish or Kurdish, from Turkish or Kurdish descent. And obviously a lot of things are going on now in Turkey. We hear a lot about what's going on in Turkey, but there is much more to Turkey than what we hear in the newspapers. And this is also what we want to do as Read My World. We want to create a platform where you can not only give space for writers, journalists to speak their mind, but also to dive deeper into what's the literature about. What kind of traditions are there? And again, this is why we this year also focus on Turkey, because I think there's, again, much more to what we get to know through the mainstream media.
Yeah. Well, Read My World, thanks you for listening to us. And the festival starts on the 11th
of October. On the 11th of October until the 13th of October. It's taking place in the Tolhuistuin in Amsterdam. If you go to our website, which is readmyworld.nl, you can find the detailed program, you can find information about all the different guests, and you can also buy tickets there. And we hope to welcome you there.
Great. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.